I'm your boy Big Dawg079, and today we're celebrating phenomenal women. Today's phenomenal woman is life coach and creator of the Everyday Confidence course, Katy Graham. Welcome to the show, Katy, and thanks for joining.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
So, for those of us out there who may not fully understand, why don't you explain what you do, as well as the journey that led you to where you are today?
So, what I do, in a nutshell, I am a life coach, and my whole purpose in life is to ignite the light in others. So I help people who are struggling with either they're in a place where they don't want to be any longer, or they're just not sure their direction. I can help them find that direction and find their path, and then ignite that light so that they can be out there and shining in the world.
That's awesome. I typically ask my guests what they like to discuss, and I was pleasantly surprised by your answer because you said Maya Angelou. And it was at that moment that it became apparent to me that you are indeed a phenomenal woman. So thank you for being who you are, and just for the people that's listening, and for me personally, what about Maya Angelou inspires you?
I love her passion. I love how she's raw and honest, how she can share her story and move other people to understand where she's coming from and move them into action. She's not just telling people to go out and do things, she's showing them, and they join along.
Yeah, definitely a leader by example. And me personally, I take a lot from Maya Angelou because I read most of her books, and I'm pretty educated on her story. And just like on a personal note, because I always like delve into my own life, I struggle with physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse growing up as a child. And then I read her story as well as Oprah's. I read Oprah's story too, and both of them went through similar situations and circumstances when they was younger. And I found the courage in just seeing how brave they were with standing in front of millions of people and being able to accept the things that they had no control over and that they were not even responsible for. So that kind of like freed me up to be more open about my life and the things that I've been through.
And your story is going to heal somebody else.
Yeah, that's the plan, and I'm hoping I'll try to add new layers every day to make the book more interesting, you know?
Absolutely. I think you're doing a phenomenal job at that.
Well, I appreciate that. So, Katy, let's talk about knowing better and doing better.
Knowing better and doing better. That is a deep thought. So the actual quote that inspired this was Maya Angelou's. Let me read it so I make sure I have it word for word. Is do the best you can until you know better. When you know better, do better. And for me, what that does for me is it frees me up to be who I am today and make the mistakes I make today, and not be afraid to do what I want to do because I might do it wrong. It frees me up to say, I'm the best I am right now, and I'm going to do what I know how to do. And then, tomorrow I might learn more so I can do things differently.
Yeah, definitely. I think
for something I did wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a powerful statement, especially for the youth today or anybody that struggle with whether it's body image issues, self-esteem issues, or anything. Just be the best person that you can be today, and check that off the list with the aspirations of going into tomorrow, trying to do better than you did yesterday. Don't be too down on yourself about not being perfect, because the reality is none of us are perfect on earth. Some of us just pretend better than others, right?
So I certainly don't pretend. I am human, and I embrace all of my flaws. So.
Yeah, definitely. We have to, or like, what world are you living in when you don't embrace that?
Well, that's not one I ever choose to go back to.
Yeah, I know. I definitely don't myself. Something that's always like at the forefront of my mind is when like Maya Angelou spoke about introducing courtesy and kindness into our speech to one another on a daily basis. I was just watching it because I always do research when I have a guest, and I kind of like pick your brain to see where you was at, so I know where I need to be. And I went and I watched a bunch of commencement speeches and things that she gave, and it was like, it's just deep to think that, like she said, whatever you tell somebody about themselves, that's what they'll try to live up to.
Right.
So if you was
So
to
if you
just,
tell somebody they're a worthless piece of blank, that's
yeah,
what they think they are.
yeah, and you hear that long enough, it's reinforced in your mind. So that's the power that our words hold every day. If every day we just approached everybody and just reminded them that they was beautiful and they was smart and they was awesome and those things, not, you know, what will people start to think about themselves every day? And almost I think the world that we live in is a clear reflection of the negative stereotypes that's reinforced in our minds every day, you know?
Absolutely. I'm on a mission to make the world a more beautiful, loving place, one statement at a time, and just hit the nail on the head of exactly how to do that.
Yeah, that's the plan, man. I just look at the space. I read a quote and I don't really recall who it was, but he said, you have an obligation and a duty to make the world a better place for the time that you here. So
Yes.
I'm probably not saying it exactly, not verbatim or nothing like that, but that's the impact and the essence of it. We all exist on this earth and we all hold an obligation to make it a better place for the people that come behind us. So, you know, I definitely respect you for that, and I'm 100% in agreement with that. And now I want to ask you another question. Like, if you were speaking to an alien life form, what would you tell them is the key to both happiness and success here on earth?
Oh, the key to happiness, that's the easier one. The key to happiness for me is to be true to who I am and do what makes my heart sing.
For sure, I agree.
The key to success is defining your own success yourself. So I'm successful in my own right, but if you compare my success to any of my siblings, I'm a failure. And they all work in very high-paying jobs. They all have families. They have kids. They have multiple cars. They have vacation homes. They take great vacations. And me, I'm single. I work for myself. I live in a small little condo that I love. But on paper, if you're looking at the general sense of success, I am not a success compared to my siblings. In my own life, I'm a bigger success than they ever will be because I love what I do every single day that I wake up in the morning. I love who I am. I'm true to myself, and I get to share this love and kindness all around the world every day. I can't imagine anybody in life is ever a bigger success than I am right now because that's what I define success by. For me.
Yeah, definitely. That's, well, you spoke about your siblings and how, if you look at it in an external sense, that they seem to be more successful based on whomever's standards, right? But
right.
I kind of try to stay in tune with the universe, and then according to universal law, I deem my success being able to interact with other human beings, enriching the lives of other people. And just like you, I enjoy what I do. So I think that kind of like determines what success is if you're looking at it from an individual capacity. If you're fortunate enough or blessed enough to be able to do the things that make you want to get out of bed every day, and you fortunate enough to be able to touch the lives of others, then that's success, because the other things don't really matter at the end. I have never seen anybody get buried with their cars or the big fancy houses. All of that get left behind. So what's the real impact of the imprint that you left on the earth after the material things is separated from your spirit?
Right. So it's, for me, you define your own success. And if you have your success, which is phenomenal, and I am very much parallel with what your success is for how I consider my success.
Yeah, I look more into the everyday coaching course, and I looked at a few other things that you had, and I'm interested personally in taking some of the courses. And I mean, who comes past knowledge and don't have an interest in absorbing it? The information that you're sharing on your website and even on your Instagram page is like, that's how I came across you. I was just scrolling, and then I seen a quote that it touched me for the day, so I shared it. And then I was like, wait, she got a whole bunch of quotes right here. I need to follow her, because like can be like a reservoir that I come to anytime I'm not feeling my best. So I just need to be reminded of how beautiful life is and how valuable each moment is, you know?
Absolutely. I have a lot of followers who actually do that exact same thing. When they're looking for a pick-me-up, they come find me. When they need that just little lift in their day, they come look for a quote. Some of them stay and read the captions, other ones don't. I'm happy, and I'm there for both. But that's actually my whole purpose, was to be the light for somebody when they needed it.
Yeah, definitely. That's our job. I think that's our job, to try to be the light for anybody that's behind us, and to shine a light on where we going in the future. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. So how long have you been operating the course, and how long have you been doing this line of work?
So I have been coaching for over a decade, and I've been doing my courses for a few years, and I've rolled out several different ones. I really started with a very big impact on confidence, and as that course, it's everyone who was working with me had gone through it, and as my skills advanced, I moved to the next course. And most of the courses that I've written have all been written for myself first, because I was looking for resources that I couldn't find through other coaches, other workshops, other trainings. So I would put together what I needed to get me to the next step. So every course that I've written was actually done for my own needs, for myself.
Right.
And then as it was perfected and it worked for me, and I tweaked it until I got the results I wanted. And then I began offering it to my private clients, and then when it worked for them and they got the results they were looking for, it's rolled out to everyone as a course.
Yeah, I think that's how, just think if doctors or, well, we'll just say doctors, just think what if doctors or pharmacists created the medicines for themselves first? Like, how much more careful would they be with the things that they offer to other people? You know what I'm saying?
Very true. Yeah.
So, like, you created courses based on what your needs were.
Right.
And then you shared it with the world, saying, well, if I was looking for information and wasn't able to find it, maybe there's others out there that's looking for the same information and haven't been able to access it.
And I happened to put it together so that if it took me 5 years to figure it out, I can give it to them in a couple of weeks. So I've already done the hard part. I've already gone through the journeys, and I've been there, so I can actually be their guide to help them through it. So they're not alone, and they're not being led by someone who says, oh yeah, I just do X, Y, and Z and it'll happen. It's like, no, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been exactly where you're at. This is what I did. This is what came up for me. This is normal if you see this. They're not alone.
Yeah, so I think in like pictures a lot, right? So I imagine yourself and me and other people that's like levitating on our plane to be like Harriet Tubman. So like Harriet Tubman, she found a way out, right? But that wasn't the end. It could have been the end, right? She found a way out. She could have just kept going. But she had the overwhelming sense of obligation to go back and show other people how to get away.
Exactly. That's actually my newest course is Breaking Free, so how appropriate.
Yeah, so you see what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the work that you're doing. So a lot of times when we don't assign all of the esteem or the impact of our everyday lives, we lose some of it. Like, I don't want you to ever allow anybody to diminish the greatness of what you're doing, because it's no different. Like, it's no different scales of darkness. Darkness is darkness, and in darkness, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, people can't see. So your work is the same as anybody else's, just leading people to light and a better life overall, you know?
Absolutely. You know, I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. And to those who are drawn to me, phenomenal. I'm here to help them. For those who aren't, that's okay too. I'm happy to serve it in whatever way works for them.
Yeah, so what is your reach right now? Like, how many people do you reach, and like how many different platforms are you on?
I keep things small. So I am on Instagram. That is my platform. I like to be able to interact with everybody. So I do my best, as much as Instagram will let me, because they do limit. Everyone who shares a post, I do my best to reach out and say, hey, I hope I'm so happy this resonated with you, or something that I see in their post or what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know that they are seen and that they are heard. I'm currently on Instagram. I've got 21,000 followers as of this morning, I believe. Closing out on 22,000. But the funny thing is that when I go in and look at my metrics, I'm reaching nearly 500,000 people every week. I have 21,000 people who follow me, but there's so many other people who are seeing the message and sharing it out,
Yeah.
which really makes my heart sing, because I don't need people to follow me to get the message. I need them to see the light. So if I can ignite the light in somebody else like you, who then shared it with a bunch of other people, who then shared it with their friends, or they said, hey, Sally, I know you're really down today. This helped me, maybe it will help you. That's what I am. I'm the catalyst to help others help others.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
African proverb: each one teach one.
There you go.
Right. So
Absolutely.
I definitely agree with the process, but I like just personally, I looked at everything that you had going on, and the first question came to my mind was, why isn't she on YouTube?
It's all about timing, Carlin.
Yeah, well, I guess.
My clients and everything else, I'm a one-man show, so right now I do what I can do that I can do really well. So once I've got something down and I can do it really well, then I'll add in the next thing.
Yeah, I get that. So, what are your ambitions for this year? Like, where do you see the business? Where do you see yourself? I guess this time next year. So it'll be a full year.
Sure. So right now, my biggest passion project is the Everyday Confidence Coaching Instagram feed. I absolutely love curating that, and I love the responses I get back from mainly women, because that's who I target. Because I am a woman, so I know what women go through. Obviously, I'm a woman. Hope that's obvious at least. So that's my really big passion project right now, and I do work with the private clients, and I'm working with courses. My next passion project that I'm really excited about bringing online, which I'm not going to tell you the name yet because it's not fully finished, but I will say it's a movement that helps bring light to others and share the light of others to the world. So instead of more of a YouTube thing, it is actually going to have a community base with videos where other women can share their stories. We'll have a few men in there, I think. Still working on that part, but that's where I'm headed next, is to have this phenomenal community where you can see women out in the community doing good. Where it might be, we may highlight someone who delivers meals to neighbors. We might highlight someone who is the first fighter pilot. It's going to run the gamut, because we all shine our light in different ways. And just by walking down the street and saying hello to somebody that may not have anyone else say hello to them that day, that's shining your light.
Yeah.
And sharing your light. So the whole goal of the movement is to help others find little ways that they can share the light in the world and make the world a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that, and I appreciate it. I think it's a lot of women out there that could use your help. And so for the people out there, how can they reach you? Is it just simply Everyday Confidence Coaching on Instagram, or would you like to give them any other information?
Yep, I am easiest to find on Instagram at Everyday Confidence Coaching. You can go to my website, which is also everydayconfidencecoaching.com, but you'll find far more information on me and helpful tips and tips in every single post I put out there. I strive to have one thing that can help everybody every day.
Right. You help me out every day. So I'm also video recordings at the same time. So I'm just gonna give it to them again. Everyday Confidence Coaching on Instagram and everydayconfidencecoaching.com. Correct.
Correct.
So you guys that's following on YouTube, make sure you check her out on Instagram, and make sure you check out the website too. I checked it out myself. It's pretty dope, and you'll come out better than you went in, guaranteed. So is there anything else that you'd like to share?
I would like to say thank you very much for having me, and thank you for putting your story out in the world to show others that you are not who you were, that you are always a different person every time you choose to be. Thank you for doing that for others.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that, and the whole thing for me was just that. Because, like, if you listen to any of my previous podcasts or anything else, like, I talk freely about my life and getting out of prison. And I remember the day I was getting out, and the prison guard told me right before he let me out, he said, "I'm gonna keep the room for you."
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he said, "I'm gonna keep the room for you. I'll let you keep your same blanket." And like he's right here saying that to me, and then my adoptive parents on the other side of the gate, and they just smiling, but they don't know what I'm hearing that before I leave out the door. And I just looked back at him and I just told him, no, I'll never come back here. He said, yeah, I heard that a whole bunch of times in the last 20 years. So it was always my thing, my drive to get out and take the things that were deemed as shameful or embarrassing parts of my life and own it on the biggest stage, because it's other people going through things deeper than what I went through. It's kids that never violated the law, that can't get a healthy meal, they don't have a warm bed. So like, who am I to be ashamed about anything? You know, my job is to make people own the things that you can't change. We can't change our life. Earlier on, we didn't really have control of the trajectory of our lives. When you do have full control over that, it is your job and obligation to like navigate your ship where you wanted to be in your life. And that's kind of like just what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely. If you step forward, you forgive yourself, you forgive anyone else you need to, and you do it for you. Everything you do for your future self.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to thank our guest today, the phenomenal Katy Graham, once again for joining us. And make sure you following the podcast, subscribe if you're seeing this on YouTube. And I'll leave you guys with words to ponder from the late, great treasure that is Dr. Maya Angelou. The quote of the day: we are all guaranteed death, yet we still try to live. If the worst that can happen in our lives is failure, then why not at least try to succeed? Got nothing to lose.
I have chills over here.
So thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you tune in again. Thanks again, Katy, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.